Hi, my name's Madeline Blackburn, the founder and CEO of the Soul Spa. I've created this short video to show you the science behind the Soul Spa's approach to supporting mental health. Watch this video if you're interested in or responsible for taking action to improve the mental well-being of your employees or colleagues, or maybe you'd just like to know more about the impact of mental relaxation, or perhaps you're interested in the science and potential of harnessing the power of your brain. There are so many headlines about mental health and the current crisis we're facing, but what does the latest research tell us? Let's start with the brain. EEG, i.e. brain scans, can tell us what's happening in our brains when we're experiencing different circumstances. The four common brain waves are beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Delta is a very slow brain pattern that's present when we're in deep sleep. During this time, the body heals and renews itself. During theta, we experience dreams. Everybody dreams, even if they don't remember. And for most people, a healthy night's sleep consists of 5 cycles of delta and theta sleep. Sleep's a really important element of our health, and missing out on delta and theta sleep can create problems during our waking day. Alpha is the state we're in just before we fall asleep or on waking. It's also the characteristic brain pattern for hypnotic trance or meditation. Beta is the state of normal waking consciousness. It's the frequency for processing information and linear thinking, the state most of us are in for most of our waking day. However, there's a higher frequency of beta that we've all experienced, known as high beta. You may have heard of the monkey or chimp mind. This is the signature brainwave of people with anxiety, people experiencing frustration, and people under stress. The more stressed we become, the higher amplitude of beta our brains produce. Negative emotions such as anger, fear, blame, and guilt produce high states of beta that can be difficult to escape from. When we're in high beta, we shut down the brain regions that handle rational thinking and decision making. This prevents access to the creative parts of the brain, and blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, is cut by up to 80%. Our brain's ability to think clearly, focus, and solve problems plummets. One of the characteristics of a high beta mindset is that it feels a bit like being on a hamster wheel. Repetitive, negative, anxious, or fearful thoughts arise, in turn limiting and filtering out the resources or evidence from the external world that would refute the negative thoughts, and all evidence that supports the negative thought is filtered in, creating more negative thoughts and increasing the stress and anxiety. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it creates havoc. In the workplace, it gives rise to absence, lack of focus, demotivation, reduced creativity, poor relationships with colleagues. The list goes on. And of course, it impacts negatively on that all-important sleep pattern. Even mild levels of high beta can have a detrimental effect. So how can we break this cycle and train our minds to respond to challenges differently? We now know that the alpha state in the middle range of frequencies forms a bridge between the faster beta states and the lower frequencies of theta and delta. By training someone to access relaxed alpha states of mind, they can learn to recognize an overstressed high beta state and deliberately minimize it to reduce the impact of their monkey mind and hence reduce the stress. By tuning into the alpha state, we begin to access all parts of the brain with all the solutions, resources, and imagination we need to begin to see challenges differently. It's not so much what happens to us, but the way we perceive it. Accessing alpha allows us to choose our response to external events and not just react emotionally from the primitive part of our brain. So can meditation really do this for you? The truth is that meditation, for all its PR baggage, is at heart simply accessing that healthy alpha state of mind. There are many ways to do this, and some are just simpler and quicker than others. For most people, the simplest and quickest way to that alpha state is by being guided by a teacher, and that's what we do at the Soul Spa. We practice dynamic meditation, where people are guided and taught the latest techniques of how to relax physically and mentally. This can be done pretty much anywhere, in any circumstance, as long as it's safe to close your eyes for a few minutes. We believe that the most effective way to look after your mental health, and indeed become mentally fit, even bulletproof, is by creating a habit of deliberate mental relaxation and practice as often as you can. So, what could you expect if you introduce this to your routine? Here are just a handful of the scientifically proven benefits of a regular meditation practice. Reduce stress, you can control your anxiety better, promotes your emotional health, enhances your self-awareness, you can focus and concentrate for longer, and it improves your sleep. Our techniques for the mind are the equivalent of what going to the gym is for your body. Training your brain is like muscle training for the mind. The more you practice, the mentally stronger and fitter you become. It's not about weakness, it's about strength. The Soul Spa, supporting your mental strength.